Welcome. This is Leading with Spirit, the show that gives you an in-depth look at topics like what it takes to navigate your spiritual journey, how to heal yourself and grow your spiritual gifts, and balanced practices to expand your business and your spiritual leadership. I'm your host, Spirit Bird, shamanic teacher, healer, and author, here to guide you on your journey to becoming your most potent spiritual leader. Have you been hearing the call to expand your spiritual gifts and step into your next level of conscious leadership? If you're a coach, healer, or a spiritual leader, you can learn more about Shaman School and growing your spiritual business on our website, HoltonHealingArts.com, or send me a DM at Holton Healing Arts. Welcome. If you're here in the United States, it's Thanksgiving today, a holiday. So I wanted to make a different episode, normal, for this special day. And of course, Thanksgiving is so conflicting because, it's supposed to be about giving thanks and gratitude. And yet we know our history in the United States. And often we get together with our families and overeat. And then we end up just following up the holidays with guilt instead of gratitude. And, I have some teachings on gratitude, and I wanted to show up today with what's actually present for me around that. So there's a way that in my life right now, although can be a pretty grateful person, I've fostered a lot of gratitude in my life. It's actually one of the ways that I've been able to step into my work is by really feeling in my body the blessings that are around me and being grateful and saying thank you to each one of those. And right now, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the gratitude. My mind knows it should. My mind can see the things to be grateful for, and I can't quite feel it in my body. It's like it comes in, it hits a spot, and then it just stops. And it's interesting and related probably to some of my move too, as I'm settling here in my new home, which is also so beautiful. A place that I, again, from my mind, can feel grateful to be here. I know a lot of people would love to live in a place like this. And so I can see all the beauty and the amenities and the wonderful people and opportunities that are here. And also, I can't quite feel the resonance of this place in my body yet either. And in my business, I've been, on paper, my numbers have been good. They're looking about what I expected or predicted for this time of year. I've been on target or ahead, so to speak, most of the year. And it's really interesting because the numbers are coming in, but not in the ways that I expected them to. There are things I want to be doing. There are things that I'm, looking forward to do and enjoying. We just had our first ceremony here in Kentucky in person last month. And so it's all good things, right? Here again, it's like from the mind, I can see the place where I ought to be grateful and I just can't quite feel it. And where it's coming around for me is humility. I mentioned this before, but humility, being humble, means being of the earth, from the earth. And I'm uncomfortable because I can feel, again, all of this coming in. And I also still feel like I'm kind of floating above it or not able to really absorb it into the core of my being. And as we've moved through the fall and coming into winter, you've probably noticed the way the fall tends to ask us to not just let things go, but sometimes lay things to rest, let them die. There's a way that a lot of people can say, this can be happy, we can celebrate it, we don't need to grieve, but sometimes we do need to grieve. If we're really letting something go that means something to us, then we will probably be grieving. And sometimes I feel that when we avoid the grieving, we're avoiding life. We're tuning out. We're not able to be with the energy, with the immensity that it is, which has us move away from ourselves, move away from our essence, move away from our gratitude and our connection with others. And so I've just been tracking who it is that I'm letting go. Who is it that I'm laying to rest? And I think a lot of that is my thinker. My mind, the one that wants to be in control and be reasonable. The one that sometimes bosses me around, says you should do this, do it this way. You should want this. And to some extent, my mind that is in cahoots with my shapeshifter. The one who wants to think back on old stories or memories or situations and change them to my advantage to make me not the bad guy, make me not wrong. And one of the places that I'm feeling that the most right now is around my perception or judgment of others. I've been tracking this pattern for several months now, this pattern where I want to be seen for already knowing something, for having already been down that path. And so when people come into my world and share something that's new to them and not to me, I tend to create distance with them instead of being excited or close. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I'm tracking, when is it that happens? When is it that I can find myself in a situation where somebody where we should be connecting, where we have this similar interest, but I'm actually distancing myself more than getting close with them. And I realize it's in situations where my beliefs or my perceptions have me see that person as, embodying the personality that hurt me or that I perceived as being bad in this world. Corporate greed, environmental harm, folks that were the face of anything but conscious, folks that are the face of, selfish greed, of taking without considering others. And I realized that those individuals aren't necessarily that. If anything, maybe they used to be, and they're coming around to the other side of the circle now as well. And instead of celebrating that, I'm resentful. I'm resentful because I've been clumping these two things together. I've been clumping what I see is wrong with the world with individuals that maybe put me down or put my beliefs down when I was younger. when I lived in a community that wasn't necessarily receptive or respectful even to different opinions, or saw them as dangerous, or because some individuals around me felt uncomfortable with expressing that themselves, wanted me to suppress it as well. So it's like when I feel into the energy, it's like this knot that's tied up upon itself. And one of the threads is connected to the you don't know enough, that you don't know what you're talking about, or you're young or immature. And when you're older, you'll understand. And the part of me that just had my fist raised, I wanted to fight that. And I can feel the part of me connected to that was looking for anyone connected to what looked like was wrong in this world. Anyone who followed the norm got grouped in with the bad guy. And it's interesting because I still find myself sometimes in this experience of being in a crowd and seeing people as being shallow or superficial, or not knowing enough, not having dived deep enough. And then I find myself in the place of the people that did that to me. You'll learn one day. When you experience what I've experienced, you'll know. When you do this work that I've done, when you go down that pathway for yourself, then you'll see. And I'll be waiting there for you, ready to put you down when you do see. Yeah, so I can see that shadow there. The part of me that has her arms up all the time, that I perceive to be in defense, but actually are on attack. And I'd like to lay her to rest today. Don't need to put her down. I don't need to fight her. I don't need to punish her for the way she's been. And I don't need to sit here and explain to her why she's helped me get here or validate. So I'm just feeling in my system what she needs in this moment and what I need in this moment. Hmm. And as I tune into her, even as I lay her down, it's like she still wants to pop up with her fist drawn. And so I'm just seeing in this moment that what is needed is an apology for those that I have made surface judgments on for being shallow or superficial. I'm sorry for judging you. For those that I assume don't have depth because of their appearance. I'm sorry for judging you. For those that have focused most of their life on their career and making money no matter what to survive. I'm sorry for judging you. And to my little one who's had her fists drawn and her arms up for these many years to keep me safe, to hold a boundary, who's been holding a wall instead of a boundary. I'm sorry for judging you too. And so it is. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Leading with Spirit. If you did, please share the link for this episode with your biggest takeaway, tagging me at Holton Healing Arts. It would also support me if you subscribed and left a rating and review of the show so we can support more people living their highest purpose. Until next time, journey on.